Oh, it's only sponsored by Squarespace, isn't it?
Come on. Where am I going? That's it. All right, I've got the package, everyone. Don't worry. Are you going to help or not, Cat? Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 51. Today is the big art collaboration episode. If you've never heard of it, I'll put a link down below to the playlist. But basically, 1000, big YouTuber, artist, cool dude, guy, paints a picture, sends it to someone else who paints another part of the picture, sends it to someone else, they paint some other part on it, and it gets sent to other YouTubers and eventually goes back and is sold for charity, which is, it's good. But somehow it's ended up with me. I know who's responsible. Basically, Liam from Sawtoons was the last guy to have it, and he sent it to me for some reason. Now I can paint. I can paint a picture, but do you really want to watch me paint a picture? Like, is that why you come here? But I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to make something. What? No, you're not part of it. You're not part of the collaboration because you're a cat. So here it is from Liam at Sawtoons. He sent me this, and he also put this lock on here. Now I'm pretty sure I have to watch an episode of his to kind of figure out the code. But I do have a lot of tools in here, and I could just. Oh yeah, okay, all right. I'll go and watch an episode. So the code is 3283. I think I'll have to put my own code into this by the end of it. So keep your eyes open, look out for clues, and let's have a look at this piece. Yeah, I gotta say it's much nicer in real life. I'm thinking here maybe. So I could paint a little picture there, but I'm thinking, Sawtoons took it a little bit further. He did that mosaic, so blame him for whatever happens to this board. I'm gonna have to take it a little bit further than that. So this is a deep box frame from Hobbycraft. I didn't buy this from Hobbycraft. I found this in a charity shop. But, I collect these for some reason. I always pick these up whenever I see them for cheap, because I always have all these plans of mini dioramas in frames. But let's see. Let's just see how this one goes. So I'm going to create a mini diorama, but I'm not sure of what. So when in doubt, just paint the whole thing in Mod Podge and black paint. Until you come up with a decent idea. So I kind of have an idea. Let's wait for that to dry. I want to get a lot of texture into this build. Because I'm going a bit 3D, I need texture. Now EVA foam is a really good material to texture. Corrugated cardboard for that, corrugated texture. Funny that. Now this textured plastic is, I don't know what this is. I don't know. I have a few of these and I have no idea what they are, but they're really cool and I'm going to use them anyway. This is part of a Connect 4 game, a little miniature Connect 4 game that a kid would get in a party bag after a party, which you can then steal. This is some mesh from my old PC tower. I think this was over the fan, but always look out for this stuff. So someone bought me this sanding mesh stuff off my wish list on Amazon, and it's really cool for like mesh patterns, and it takes paint really well. This is sculptor's mesh. You would use this to kind of make a shape and then sculpt over it. I've never used it for that. I basically use it for Gasland cars. So this plastic mesh is granny grating. We all know this stuff. It doesn't take glue, doesn't take paint. Pretty redundant, really. And this is a window spacer because you space window. I'm not sure what it is. Someone sent me a bag of these and they have cool patterns on them, but I'm not sure what they're actually used for. I mean, I know what I'm going to use them for, which is good enough. So if you don't have any of those textures and you want to create textured panels, EVA foam is the way to go. You can basically make whatever texture you want on there. This is I cannot remember what it's called, but it makes little indentations in like leather and stuff. But you can use it on EVA foam like that and make little rivet holes. As easy as that. This thing is a new toy I just got. It's basically a corner cutter. It cuts corners like me. But actually it cuts corners on pieces of styrene and card and makes nice little rounded edges. I'm not sure what I'm going to use that for, but that's nice, isn't it? This thing is some weird hole punch thing, and this is another weird hole punch thing, and this is another. I do like collecting hole punches. They're pretty useful for making repetitive shapes on a piece of EVA foam, like that, kind of. Another way to texture your EVA foam is to stick a load of crap to it. Now this stuff is Well, I use these as rivets, but they are little diamond art things, like little rhinestones that you stick onto something. I don't know. I never actually use things for what they're meant to be used for, but anyway. Quite tedious, but quite fun. Now, this is a pyrography tool. I think you use it to burn patterns into wood, but it's really good at kind of texturing up your EVA foam too. Like, you can just melt it away. Probably wear a mask when doing this. Doesn't smell good. So this episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Now, if you've ever wanted to make a website and you're not really sure how to do it, Squarespace is the place to go. Look, you get provided with hundreds of templates like these just here, and they're all pretty cool designs, I'll give them that. And say you want to make a website about pickles. Look, oh, there we go. There's a pickle website. You can literally open this up, change the names. There you go. You have a pickle website. So I decided to make a website of my own for bill making stuff. Now, I've made plenty of websites in the past, and I have to say that Squarespace is the easiest and most intuitive website builder I've ever used. It's so easy to get great effect. I mean, look at this. This took me like 5 minutes. So if you want to make a website, click on the link down below. There is a sale going on. There you go. So I'm going to take some of this plastic stuff and add some of that sanding mesh to make a kind of ventilation system kind of looking thing. I'm going very futuristic, as you all know. Probably very rusty, but you know me. So I'm going to use these window spacer things and stick them all along the back of the board. Probably won't be seen, but it's all about layers. And there you go, your typical ramshackle bill making stuff wall. Now this is conduit cable. I'm going to use this stuff and some bigger conduit cable to act as conduit cables, basically. I want these hanging from the ceiling. I want this room to be a right kind of futuristic mess. So I like the idea of hanging every conceivable wire from the top of this little diorama thing here. It's essentially, it's like a room, a ramshackled kind of scrap room. How is it going to connect with the big picture? We don't know yet. We just don't know. You're going to have to watch the end of the video. Yeah, that's right. I'm doing it like that, okay? So this is a hand soap pump. And this is the little tube that's attached to it. I'm going to use this to make little bunches of cable. So as you can see here, I have all these little wires and things that look like wires, like hair bands, and I keep them all in a little box. Always good to keep little bits and pieces and store them for, you know, a day when you might use them, if you have the space. I don't have the space. If anyone shouldn't be collecting this stuff, it's me. But you should go ahead, I mean, honestly. I mean, look, there's a nice bunch of wires there. I mean, it almost makes it all feel worth it, doesn't it? Doesn't it? So I've been holding on to this piece for a while now, and I'll tell you why. One reason, I was a little bit ill, had a bad cold, still got it, you can still hear it. That's why I sound so, you know, sexy right now. And the other reason is, if anyone gives you a picture that they've started and they ask you to carry on, like, I don't know who wouldn't hesitate. You know, like, this piece has gone around like 5 other YouTubers. I don't really want to mess up everyone else's work. I'm not like, there you go. I didn't want to ruin everyone else's work because I'm not evil like that, despite the persona. So I've been holding on to it for a while, but you know, it's hard. It's like doing a commission for someone. You know, like, you know, you can do it. You know, you have the ability to do it. But if it's not for you, and someone else is going to be looking at it at the end, you know, studying it, looking at how, you know, how good or bad it is. So it's, you know, it's intimidating, basically. That's why it's delayed. But, you know, you're watching it now. Actually, right now, you're watching it. So, you know, you can stop going on about it. So, on to the next phase. yeah, there's phases in this build. I want to make some boxes and crates and just general kind of clutter to kind of clutter up the place because it's not messy enough, not yet. These are coffee stirrers, always handy to have. Just steal them from your local coffee shop. They're stealing from you, you know. Coffee, £4. Coffee. So believe it or not, I don't really make crates. I've never really had to make crates, despite everything I've made in the past. I've never really made, and that's terrible actually. That's a really bad looking crate. So let's try something else. I'm just going to try a lot of different ways of making crates here and see which ones I like. I'm probably going to use them all, but you can learn with me, you know, learn with Bill. As I've said many a time, this is not a how-to, but a how-I, as in how I do it. Not necessarily the right way. So these squares are from a puzzle that you slide about to make the picture. I've just taken all the bits out and it makes quite a cool looking sci-fi crate. It just needs a little EVA foam cross in the middle there, you know, as you do. And look at that, I'm quite happy with that. So you may be thinking, Bill, what are you doing? What are these crates and chests are terrible. They are. But yeah, they are. But, you know, I'm going to use them all together. And together, you know, if something looks bad, just have a lot of it and stick it together till it makes good. Does that make sense? It doesn't, does it? Anyway, this is a felt tip pen tube thing that I'm making into some sort of vasey barrel. No more questions. I'm just making clutter, okay? It's just clutter. So seeing as Bill is so bad at explaining stuff, I'm just going to show you. Look, if you have a lot of something and you stick it all together like this, look, you know, it doesn't matter how badly each individual piece is, stuck all together like that, it looks pretty good. Also, I made a little TV. I quite like that TV. It's made with a bead. And there we go. Talking of beads, it's time to make another staple in the cat. No. Op it. Off. Why does he have to eat beads? Anyway, it's time to make a bead bot. I need a bead bot to sit in this little diorama. Now, I know you probably expect me to explain every single step of me making a bead bot, but I've made bead bots so much, you may just have to go back and watch a previous video. Or you could just watch, be quiet and watch. I might just let the music play through, you know. I will say one thing. I do make his arms a little bit too long. I thought it'd be quite funny to have really long arms on a bead bot. But maybe not for this build. But anyway, sit back and enjoy. This is a beadbot trademark. Bill making stuff trademark. Fun fact: I invented the beadbot. So you know, I'm just saying. You know, I'm quite proud of the beadbot. It's kind of got around a bit. Yeah, on Instagram I see beadbots all over the place. Hashtag beadbot. And you know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me. I'm nearly at 10,000 follows on there, which is, you know, pretty good, I guess. What do you do on Instagram? What's the point of it? Anyway. Yeah, he's a good beadbot, but maybe a little bit too big, but he can jam in there. Just adds to the nice cramped feeling. He's got a nice long arm to kind of change channels. So anyway, let's spray this thing. And there we go. Look at that. Is it good for you? Oh yeah. So it's time for paint. Now usually I don't like the painting section, but you know, because this thing is like a deep frame, you know, you're kind of only facing it from one direction. Painting models is quite tricky because, you know, you can look at it from any angle and it's supposed to look like what it's supposed to look like. But this, I can kind of use some painting tricks maybe. It's like actually painting a picture. So I might actually, you know, try put some effort into it. Also, it's going to charity. So, you know, I want the person to buy this at the end to have a nice, you know, this thing in the middle of the big picture. But yeah, I'm going to try it. I might even try something I've never tried before, but stick around. So usually during the painting stage of my videos, I talk about something completely unrelated because I don't enjoy the painting section of my videos. But I think today I'm going to actually try and put some effort in. This thing is not going to be for me, it's going to be for someone else. So, you know, I don't want to embarrass myself. I mean, not any more than I usually have to, which is usually quite a bit, but you know. I'm going to try something that I've never tried before. Use colour. No, I'm only joking. No, it's going to be pretty rusty. I'm going to try some OSL, which is like Object Source Lightning, I think. Not lightning, lighting. I mean, I suppose it could be lightning. Yeah, so basically paint something to look like light is coming from a source and shining on stuff around it. Almost like putting an actual light in your model, which is what I would normally do, but done with paint. You know, a clever painting trick. Something that Nick at CC Minis or LX52 Miniatures would do, you know, show offs. So I know for the look I want at the end, I need to keep the whole thing pretty dark, you know, pretty dull and dark, which is lucky for me because I'm pretty good at doing that. But I do want to add a bit of colour here and there, a couple of blue wires, some green wires, maybe make him red, you know. But it's going to be dulled down. But let's dry brush this whole thing with a little bit of off-white, just a tiny bit, just to bring out a few of those details. So this little TV screen is going to be the source of my light in the piece. So I want that to be as white as possible. I'm going to be doing a few layers of white because white's never really white until you do it 10 times. This is some brown oil wash and I'm just basically going to cover the whole thing. It's oil paint mixed with white spirit or mineral spirits. I pre-mix this stuff. I've had some people say they can't store it anywhere. Well, if you store it in the white spirit bottle that the white spirit comes in, then it's going to store it. It's not going to evaporate. Just a, you know, little tip for you there. So here's my first ever attempt at OSL, Object Source Lighting. You want to start with like a dark colour of the light source, like a blue. I'm doing this with a dry brush. Most people would do this with an airbrush, which would probably be a lot easier, but you know me, I'm not fancy pants. So in the thumbnail it says put a hole here, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, not like other thumbnails that are clickbaity, say I put a hole in the biggest collab up. No, I'm actually going to put a hole in it. And there we go. I'm quite happy with it. I hope everyone else is happy with it. Stick around for the glamour shots. But who's it going to go to next? Well, I did ask all of my crafty friends and no one wanted it. They were all a bit intimidated by it, I think. But I had to find someone else. And I found this guy called Bam. He's got a channel called Bam's Way. I'll stick a link down below. And he's a really cool artist and he's from Belgium, which isn't too far from here. So we're sort of still keeping it in this part of the world for a little bit longer. Go subscribe to his channel to see how it ends up. Thank you 1000 for making this collaboration a thing. And thank you Sawtoons for choosing me. Thanks. If you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. I make quality content, I hope. And I don't usually sound this gruffly. Gruff. A little bit less gruff than this, to be honest. So, what? No, we don't need your contribution. I know what sort of contributions you like to make, so it's fine. Stick around for the glamour shots. See you next time. Halloween episode. So there we go. I think it turned out pretty well. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below if you like it or not. And yeah, if you don't like it, let me know. I don't mind. Tell me. You know, did I ruin the biggest art collab in YouTube history? Or the second biggest? Whatever. I can't keep track. Anyway, I'm going to sign the back. Bill making stuff. Because, you know, everyone else has signed it. And I feel like I should... Oh, cat. Really? Cat? I was looking for that bead. So before I send it off, I actually changed the code on the lock for BAM to figure out, and for you to figure out at home. If you like, you can help. You can put it in the comments down below. Clue 1 is how many times did I tap on the board at the beginning there. You may have to go back. The second clue is how many rivets did I place on that little bit of EVA foam. And the last clue is how many fingers did the bead bot have. It's pretty easy. But, you know, if you figure that out, stick it in a comment down below. BAM may be able to see it, or BAM may have to watch my video. I'm sorry, BAM, okay? I'm sorry. Thank you again, patrons. Thanks a lot for your support and for sticking by me this month. It's been a pretty tricky, tough month, but hopefully a cool Halloween episode coming up soon. I mean, it's not like they've ever been